What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar here. It's your boy. We're looking at we're gonna look at a couple things today. We're gonna look at a couple things today, as always. I think we're gonna look at Ethereum and Bitcoin again. My last video that I made, if you remember, was on the 10th. I remember. Let's see. Here we are. I'm just gonna bring up the just the price action for now. A little quieter because it's the morning. I'm making an early morning video. It's 7:22 in the morning for me here. That's early for me. Anyways, on the 10th, that was this day here. I don't remember when. Let's see if it says. It doesn't say, but that's okay. Oh, I got 39 views. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you guys, everybody who's watching this, and thank you for the people who've liked it. Looks like I liked it myself, but you gotta do that, right? Anyway, like you gotta vote for yourself. Anywho, being that I'm a third of the likes, thank you for the other two people who liked the video. Anywho, and the new subscribers, thank you guys. We're gonna jump right into it here. On the 10th, I believe I was saying that we're looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin. I don't remember what time I made that video. I want to say I made it earlier in the day, but I could have. I don't know. Let's just look at it and see. Let's just see real quick. Hold on. Let me get. Yeah, there's 22 hours left in the day, so I must have made it. I must have made it like dang, but it's on the 10th. So I must have made it actually on, for this chart, I must have made it on the 11th, technically. I made it down here. And classically, I said we were going to go down, and it looks like we did go up the next 2 days. We closed that day red. We went a little bit lower, whatever. But we went up the next 2 days, and then boom, we broke down. We had that little flash crash, and then we had a major rally. Going the 4-hour time frame here, you can see there's a lot of volume down here for buying. And then whenever we had this selling candle, we had a little bit of a pullback, and then it looked like it was gonna, broke above this daily or this 4-hour close. Looked like we were gonna go above and beyond, and we rejected it. We rejected it really hard, and we had some volume to signify that. This is the Coinbase chart. I don't know if we look at the index, or some people like the Binance. This one's calculated by TradingView, but that's not the same. You want to use the tethers. Most crypto is traded in tethers. I mean, you can see even with the tethers that there's still significant volume. It's like the same thing, right? It's just there's more volume technically on this one. I don't know. I'm gonna pull up the index because we might be using that. And yeah, same thing. And these to me are not condemning candles. For once, we actually have bigger green candles to the upside than we do red candles to the downside. That's a good thing, honestly, but it would have been nice to see some follow through. I don't know. Quick bounce like that back into this zone that we've been in for a long time. It's, nothing special has really happened. All we've got here, if we're looking at it, is more of the same. Wicks to the upside, or and then looking bearish, and then boom, big day, and then wicking to the downside, and then coming down, looking bullish after these two candles, and then coming down again. And then boom, wicks, like it just flip-flop. Speaking of flip-flopping, I've got my flip-flops on. No. I'm going to be trading this range as long as we're in it, and I have been trading this range pretty successfully, I might say. I've been using Ethereum to trade this range because Ethereum versus Bitcoin, at least, I like to use 5x leverage, whatever anyone's comfortable with. I wouldn't recommend, if you're a new trader, even if you're an experienced trader in this market, I wouldn't. Do whatever you want. I'm not. This isn't advice, but my personal preference would be 5x or lower. There's really no need to do more than that, and I'll show you why. Let's go to Ethereum, for example. I'm gonna go on Coinbase because I use Coinbase, whatever. And it's still, even if it doesn't have the most volume, it's still relevant. We've got more relevant volume here than we did over here. Like you can see that. I bet if I go to the Binance chart, you type it in. I know some people think that there's like one chart to rule them all, but like if we go to the Binance chart here, there might be more volume in certain places, but look, it's the same thing. Like we've got more volume over here. We've got more volume over here, but not as much volume as we did over here. Here it looks a little bit less diverse than Binance chart. Over here there was more volume, but we're not looking at that. We're looking at today. Anyways, my thing with Ethereum is the reason why I like to keep it at 5x is if we go on to the hourly time frame here. Man, I got something stuck in my throat. If you remember this day, here it says 12. So where I'm at, that would be that'd be like 6 in the morning. So this was early in the morning time. You know, when most of America is waking up, like 6 here in Mountain Time, 7, 8 until 9 o'clock. So that would have been I think that would have been 7 o'clock West Coast, and that would have been 11 o'clock East Coast. Most of America, and most of the United States at this point, is awake before this pump even happened. So we dumped. Imagine waking up and you see this big red candle. I think a lot of people saw it, and that's why there's a lot of volume down here. I think a lot of people did sell. In fact, with this candle, we actually went up and then rejected it, and we came down pretty hard. Imagine how many people sold down here. And then we still got a lot of volume on the next two candles too, more than average. Just barely on this one, but more than average. So a lot of people were selling for the next 2 hours right here. At least a lot more compared to the relative days before, you know, in relative time frames. Like this, even the lowest one right here. I don't like this. Come on, TradingView. Right here, this one. I'm going to move it all the way over now. Relative to everything else, the only one that was bigger than it was over here, all the way back on the 11th? Oh, the beginning of the 11th. So I guess that would have been 12 hours before. That doesn't make sense. What are we? Oh, this is the 13th. Okay, the 13th. So 2 days before. Anywho, sorry, I'm getting my bearings here. So just hang with me. I promise it'll all make sense. So a lot of people sold down here. I'm getting to the point of why I only use 5x, because if you look, if we just measure, let's say we even got the top of this, you know, or the bottom, whatever, but I'm going to just say the top of this like range, right? Those are the before we went back up. A lot of people sold right here. A lot of people went short right here, okay? Imagine if you were a trader and you went short right here. You saw this, you woke up to this, and you're like, shit, I need to get out of my positions. I need to go short, whatever. Imagine if you did that, and then we go all the way up to the top point. That was 9.2%. It was 9.2%. Actually, over here even, 9.39%. 9.39%. For those of you who are unfamiliar, at least like, you know, if you're in America, most exchanges don't allow you to do leverage trading, and you can't use most exchanges. I mean, Kraken is one of the few exchanges I can actually use, and that's what I use personally. I use Kraken, very low liquidity exchange, but I work with what I got. I'm aware that I could use a VPN and do things like Bybit or KuCoin or Binance or whatever, and we have Binance US, but I just use Kraken. That's me personally. Everyone has their own stuff. A lot of people talk crap about Kraken, but honestly, Kraken, I'm not sponsoring them. I haven't gotten any things from them. You know, I'm not paid by them or nothing. I like Kraken. It's simple. You know, low liquidity sucks, but if you're a good trader, you can still get in and out. You know, don't try to catch the absolute tops and bottoms. That's the only thing. If you have a low liquidity exchange, you don't want to, like Coinbase here. Actually, Kraken did go lower than these prices, but normally Kraken doesn't go as low or as high. And low liquidity exchanges, sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes they go lower or higher, you know, but with Kraken, it's not that way. Because it's leveraged, and the exchange, in my opinion, my theory is they don't want to give people prime positions. So they shorten those margins most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. Sometimes they do go outside those margins. Anyways, 9.39% on a 5x leverage. That's nearly a 50% loss. And in Kraken, if you're in America, and most Americans probably use Kraken if they're trying to leverage trade, or they use a VPN, whatever. But most traders, anyways, they're not going to let it go to a 50% loss. Imagine all the people. That's what I'm trying to get at. And Kraken pulls you out at a 50% loss automatically. It just pulls you out. You don't have, or it's around a 50% loss. It's something like that. Maybe it's 50 to like 60 or something like that. It starts to get you out of your position, depending on how big it is. Anyways, if you bought at the top of this range, which is probably not likely, right? You probably bought anywhere from there to, I mean, down here, you're at 11.58% at the bottom of this little range. You know, imagine shorting the absolute bottom. You definitely would have gotten liquidated. But if you bought just kind of in this like average zone, that's 10% exactly. You know, like right in the middle here, 10%, you would have gotten liquidated on Kraken. I'm sure you would have gotten scared out of your positions on other exchanges. This right here, and if you use 10x leverage, you're fucked. That's 100% loss right there. You're definitely liquidated. And there's a lot of exchanges. That's why I like Kraken too. It only limits you to a 5x. Where all these other exchanges, Bybit, Binance, KuCoin, you can use 10x leverage. You can definitely use 10x leverage. And imagine all the people who thought, if we go back to the daily here, imagine all the people who thought, oh, right here, finally, we're breaking out of this range that we've been in. Oh, and we have good volume. Finally, we're breaking out of this range. I'm going to go short, because that's what people do. They like to trade the break of a range. It's smart to do, but you have to have stop losses for reasons like this. This is extreme volatility. And then the day closed bullish. The next day opened up bullish, but came down and closed bearish. All this means, whenever you have a wick to the upside and a wick to the downside like this, all this means is we're uncertain. We don't know where the market's going, and this isn't the only time that we've seen that. Wish wash all the way through. We are in times of uncertainty, and normally in times of uncertainty we go down. But to be fair, we're in times of uncertainty with a bearish bias. A lot of people do expect us to go down. So that's why I think a lot of shorts got trapped here, because a lot of people are expecting us to go down. And the market is not made to give people money. It's made to take your money. So everyone's wondering, oh, why did we pump here? CPI came out worse, blah, blah, blah. I see all these experts talking about, why did we pump here? Why did we pump here? It's a very simple answer, you guys. The simple answer is because it takes the most money out of people's hands. The reason why we pumped is because even though, yes, all the market data and the economic conditions suggest that we should go lower, and we probably will, but it's going to put up a battle to get there. And it's not because the bulls are stronger than the bears and the bulls are battling it out. It's because all these people are leveraging their positions. We're at very high levels of leverage right now, margin trading, and the big boys know that. And they're going to manipulate the market in whatever way they can, manipulate it, whatever. Every buy and sell is a manipulation. They're going to do what they can to get that money. That's how it is. The market is not made to give you money. The market is made to take your money. And even if we have bearish suggestions and bearish conditions and all the things in the world add up for it to rain, it just might not rain. Because guess what? The big boys brought an umbrella and they fucking caught all your dollars that you were selling down there. That's the end of it right there, okay? So with that being said, remember, I did say that I do think that we're going to go down. Same thing as I've said throughout this whole range, really. Same thing that I've been saying since, I don't even know, since I think I was at like 1600 here, somewhere like on this day. Whenever this day happened, I have been bearish. Honestly, I was bearish all the way through this little fake rally here, but another time for another day. I've been killing it on these trades. I did go short here. I didn't catch the absolute bottom. That's okay. Whenever I saw us come up like this, I think, yeah, I closed my short around here, which is good because it came back up. I would have gotten flushed out of my position. I don't know. I forget where I went short. It was higher. It was a little bit higher, but anyways, I'm glad I went closed my short out. Then I went long. I was gonna wait for another chance to go short, but I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna go long. And it paid off a little bit. I didn't close it up here at the top. I think I did close it. I closed it, yeah, because I opened it somewhere around like 1260, I want to say. And then I closed it around like 1290. No. I closed it at, what was it? 1306. I closed it at 1306. Yeah. Yep, I closed it at 1306. And then I wanted to go short again. I thought we were going to pump up a little bit. We didn't. So I basically went short again at 1298. And I've got my Twitter here. I know I can't make videos every day, guys. I know I was bearish, and then as you just heard, I was bullish and then bearish and then bullish and then bearish, whatever. I was wish-washing. I can't make videos every day. I got a day job. I got a little kid, like baby girl, and a fiance. I've got other priorities in my life. I like making these videos. I try, my best, but I got a lot of things that demand my time that are more important than this. So my way of getting that information out more quickly or more often is to tweet. It's really easy to quickly launch a tweet. So you remember back on the 10th here, I was saying bearish. We had this bearish pennant pattern. We didn't reach the targets yet. I think we're going to. I really think we're going to. We could go up from here. Who knows? Because we'll get into that. But this was the 10th here. And then, if you remember, I was short on the 10th. And then right here, October 13th, 3 days later, whenever that day happened, I said I'm long on crypto now, long to ETH today, shorts are closed. And on the 13th, that was this day right here. That was this day right here. And let's see, that was, it doesn't say what time it was, but it was, I think if I click on it actually, yeah, 4:01 p.m. That was 2 hours before the day closed. So I got it before we were even at 12. I got it before we were even at 12:50, or maybe I did get it around. Maybe it came down for the day. Maybe that's what it was. Anyways, I want to say I opened it around 12:60, but I said I'm long. Okay, long on crypto now. Shorts are closed. And I said close my long on ETH the next day, which if wouldn't you know it, the next day, literally, if we go to the daily, the 14th is right here. Close my long on ETH on this day. And then I went short. And I even said, wishy-washy, I'm short again. I didn't go short immediately. I made 2 tweets that day. But the reason why is again, I wasn't sure if it was a good time to short. And technically, it's not a good time to short. We're in this kind of no man's land. I just went with my gut, and I went with some of the lower time frame indications. Basing it off of this daily close also. Like I thought, it might be a good thing. And to be fair, right here, this day closed lower than any of these other days since this big day down that brought us into this range. So we've gotten lower daily closes. The day that I went short, the following day, we actually closed lower than we have throughout most of this range, indicating that, in my opinion, that we're probably going to go down. Pair that with the fact that we literally do have lower lows and lower highs. I'm comfortable going short. Before, on Ethereum, we were looking at this bearish pennant pattern, right? We were kind of looking at something like this. I'm going to draw it the same way that I drew it before, connecting those 2 lines, connecting these. So if you look, it kind of looks like to me like a broken pattern, and maybe it's not drawn accurately enough. Maybe it needs to be tightened up. That looks a little more appropriate to me. We broke out of it, and to me it looks like we have confirmed this bottom line as resistance. What was once support is now resistance. We broke back into the range, but we did not hold above it. We could not sustain. We closed below it on all these. We hugged that line really hard. We gave people hope that okay, maybe this isn't a pennant. Maybe this is a broken pattern. Maybe that was a fake out to the downside. All those maybes got people going long. I mean, go back and look at the media from the last like 2 or 3 days. Everybody's like excited that okay, we might go up. And a lot of people too, don't get me wrong, are a little pessimistic. They're like, we're just doing more of the same sideways stuff. And to be fair, we kind of are. But we're at the lower limits. If we take these lines away even, we're at the lower limits of this range. We even, let's see. We're even, we're kind of like this. Like if this is the whole range, every time that we've come down here, we have bounced. We've bounced. And to be fair, we came down here and we didn't really bounce. And then we broke below it and we bounced pretty hard, but we didn't close high like we did every other time. Look at all the times that like we closed high above this range. The bars are up here. Now the bars are down here in this very tight part of the lower part of the range. I think we're winding up getting ready for the downside. I'm going to delete one of these indicators to just see. I don't normally pull up volatility, but I think there is a volatility indicator on here. Technicals, let's see. Let's go to volatility, V. Volatility, stop. No, I don't think that's what I want to use. Let me see. Yeah, it's not the same thing, no. Okay, well, never mind. Basically, though, it's not on here, but volatility has wound up. It is beginning to expand. I know this just because of like watching videos like Eric Crown. He puts that stuff out there for you. If you want to watch Crown's Crypto Cave, I really suggest it. He's a very knowledgeable person. And he's got fun videos, man. He's definitely a good one in the space. I've been watching his videos lately, and volatility is expanding. It's coming into expansion. We have downside momentum with that volatility expanding. That generally, I don't understand a whole lot about volatility, but he says that means that we're probably going to go down. Probably. Not definitely, but probably. Not a prophecy, just a prediction. I'm going to put up the other RSI here. You guys know I like my RSIs. I feel safe. When I have both my RSIs on here. So I'm going to just do that real quick. Dilly-dally. We're going to adjust it. Let's see. 10. Nope, that's 11. We want 10. We want the style to be not with the RSI base. There we go. And then yellow. Cool. Easy enough. That's how I like it. It just stands out more. I don't know who made the default for the RSI purple on purple. It's kind of a silly idea in my opinion. Anyways, Let me see here. Yeah. Okay, so enough of all the semantics, enough of the brass tacks, whatever you want to call it. I am bearish on ETH right now. I'm definitely bearish on ETH. I am short right now. I went short, like I said, at 12.98, which I think is, yeah, it's like, I guess, like like kind of like right there, 79 cents off. We'll say right there, okay? Kind of at like that area right there. I went short. I'm happy with my short. I wish I closed it last night. I was driving last night at the time of the daily close. I would have probably closed it because I do expect today to be bearish, but normally whenever I expect a bearish day, I'm expecting the beginning of the day to be bullish, right? And here's what I mean by that. Let's just go. This is just some of my own thoughts. This is something I learned from traders, and maybe I can teach it to new traders. I mean, look at any of these red days. Look at any of them. I know I brought this up in a past video, but look at any of these red days. Tell me that you see one where there isn't at least some kind of wick to the upside. You know, this one kind of right here. Okay, sure, kind of, a little bit, just a little bit. But to be fair, if you missed that opportunity to go short and it went down without you, you could have been like, you know, maybe like I should go long here. You know, this is like a good kind of area of support. Maybe I could go long here, and you could have caught that long, gone short up here at the top, like it's, or like after you see this wick come down and close, you could have gone short. I actually did go short up here. Is that is where I closed my short from. Yeah, I went short. I went short literally at 1350. I remember 1350. Yeah, and then I closed it at, I want to say it was like 1280, 1250. Something like that, somewhere in there, whatever. Little gains, guys, taking little gains. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not the point, though. The point is all these red days have wicks to the upside. So even if you think it's going to be a red day, especially actually if you think it's going to be a red day, excluding this one day here, and maybe this one we can say it's an excluded day. But if you waited, again, if you just waited for that right position, you would have actually gotten higher on the next day. So anyways, my point is, if you wait, you can get that wick to the upside. If today, we have 10 hours and 15 minutes in the day left. If today closes red, well, guess what? If you closed your short here, you waited, you know, it's $13 higher. But if you're in a short position that makes you like $5 every dollar, I mean, 15 times 5, that's, you know, that's like, I don't know, $75 right there. You know, that's enough. And if you're just trading a small bit of your portfolio, like those little gains, those little nips, that's how you make money. You know, a lot of the time. So I don't know. It covers fees. You know, there's a whole lot of benefits to trying to maximize. And then if you close it down here, you have profits. So you're going to open up a bigger position at, you know, higher prices. You'd have more money being made as you're coming down. There's a lot of benefits to it. Anyways, let's just jump into it here. Let's get into the main beef of it all. I do think we're going to go lower. That pennant pattern that I was drawing, I think, is a prime example of why we're going to go lower right here. And if we draw it, if we're on the 4 hour, I feel like it looks a little bit more. I don't know why it won't show on the 4 hour. That's okay. 4 hour. Yeah. Maybe it was the daily that I was on. Was it the daily? It was the daily. Okay. It was the daily. Yeah. So, like, you know, we found support kind of in this area. Yes, it broke out, whatever. It's not clean. It's not super clean. But to be fair, and I don't think any other trader would say this, but when I see things bleed to one side, whether it's the bottom or the top, to me, that normally indicates that we're going to see it move to that side. I'm not talking about a fake out. Like if we came down here and then we closed this day back in the green up here, that would be a fake out and that would actually look bullish. But the fact that we were bleeding out all this way and then we confirmed closes and we couldn't get back above this line at all once we were below it, that's bearish. That's bearish for sure. And even before we got down here, if we were up here bouncing off of this line from these two, you could have measured it from these two. I think there's bearish inclinations. We couldn't break out of this zone. We want to break out of this zone. We definitely want to go lower. People want the price to go lower. It's going to happen. It's not going to happen all at once. Volatility, that's what I was trying to say earlier. Volatility is expanding. What is volatility? What's volatility? I'll tell you what, if something's moving straight down, that's not volatile. If it's moving straight up, that's not volatile. So if volatility is expanding, expect a lot of volatile moves. It's perfect if you're a trader. That's perfect, because guess what? You can take small gains and expect that if the volatility is expanding, that the price will come back up to give you another position, or come back down to give you another position, however you want to do it. Don't get stuck in your trades right now. Now with me, I did go short up here, and I'm probably not going to take profits. I have my take profit all the way down at 1170 personally. And the reason I have it at 1170, if we look here, I'll delete all these lines. The reason that I personally have it at 1170 is because if we look at this range here, there's a little bit of support coming in right there. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 days that opened and closed here at this area. We even have a little resistance on this point, and we came and like rested on it again here. To me it's a semi-significant level. Oh wait, it's 1127. That's a semi-significant level. Maybe I should lower my take profit. Anyways, I'm on an illiquid exchange, Kraken. It's got liquidity, but it's a lot less liquid than Coinbase or other exchanges. Maybe that's not what I did though. Maybe I did. No, I definitely didn't do that. I don't know. I might have to adjust my. Maybe I was doing it here at like 1150. It's kind of in the middle of the range. Maybe that's what I was thinking. It's kind of in the middle of this range, and I didn't want to close it exactly at 1150, so I moved it up $20. That's gonna give me some solid gains still. I'm not upset with that. I don't want to catch the absolute bottom. I don't. What I really would hate to do is see it come all this way down. Even on this chart on Coinbase, watch it actually hit that line where I was, or even go a little bit past it and then bounce off it, right? I would hate to see that, but then on the Kraken chart, it doesn't do that. On the Kraken chart, it does something like it comes down, barely misses it, and then bounces off. I would feel like a dumbass, because the charts are telling me one thing on Coinbase, but you remember that you're on an illiquid exchange, you have to adapt. And that, like a little bit higher at 1170, I'm okay with taking profits there. Nothing wrong with that. If it goes a little bit lower, maybe I can open up a long, something like that. If you guys remember my past videos, I've talked about how I like the 50%, not the 50% fib. I do like it at times. It has relevance at times, not always, but 50% of a range. If we were to take this, let's see, where's my box here? If we were to make this little range a range, right? And yes, it went lower, yes, but we've got more support kind of off of this line here. I'm actually gonna tighten it up a little bit. Yeah, like that. To me, that's the range. Okay, we faked out of the range, we came back into it, but like that top is definitely the top in my opinion. It's all my opinion. It's not like definite. Right there, I mean, that's the middle of the range. So to be fair, I don't know why I'm closing it at 1170. I'm probably going to move it down to 1150 after making this video. I'm probably going to move it down to 1150. Little bits. It matters. Taking those little bits, man. They can add up at the end of the day. It's like saving your change in your change jar. It adds up over time. You know what I mean? Maybe less so now that inflation's hitting, but no, seeing this, I'm probably going to go after this video. I'm probably going to move my take profit down to there. I'm not planning on taking profits there. I'm kind of going to sleep with this short position open. So if we happen to do a flash crash down to there, I want it to take profits for me. If we come down, if I see us down below this line, really, if I can catch the price below 1243, I'm probably going to close my short. Probably. Like if I'm awake for that, I will probably close my short then. It's part of my strategy, I think it's smart to have a take profit set, just like it's smart to have a stop loss set. I think it's a good idea. So if I'm asleep and we get a big crash, if I wake up to another morning where it's a big red day, I would hope that I could take profits, and not even have to worry about it. So, and if we go lower, cool, whatever, we go lower, I can be in a better position maybe to go long, or maybe we get further confirmation that we're going down and I can just go short again with profits in hand. And I could have had a bigger gain, whatever, but like I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about taking gains in specific. This is how I'm doing it. So I do expect us to find some sort of support at this level, mainly because it's in the middle of a pass range. Not always do we find support at these levels, but I find it very general that we do, or resistance. We could come back up on that note, even we kind of have another price range up here. We could go up and test, I don't know, we'll just say that that's the top of it. We could go up and test the middle of that range, which would be like right around there. You can see, I don't know, there's a little bit of support here, there's resistance here, a little bit of resistance and support there. We bounced off it a little bit on these days. We could come back up. Ethereum could come back up here before going lower. And if we were to go back up here, that's not totally out of the question. Oops. It's not totally out of the question because, you know, from top to bottom here, I guess it's kind of out of the question. I don't know. I would be surprised if we went up. Honestly, I guess I would be surprised. We've got this volume building down here. We're at the lower parts of the range. We haven't bounced up. Things look bearish. We have tested this prior resistance as support too many times, in my opinion. I think we are going to go lower. The only way that I could see us going higher is simply just to flush people out of their positions. I do have a stop loss set, again, just a little bit in the red. I've been on a heat streak right now. I've been winning a lot, so I am comfortable with taking slight losses. If the price goes above 1305, I can't get it there. If the price goes above 1305, I know it's at 1311, but if the price goes above 1305, that's where I'm going to close my short position. I'm going to take a slight loss. I think I'm on like 7 trades winning in a row right now. All good things come to an end. I'm not expecting it to continue, but I've had like 25 trades in a row be correct before, and then lost like half of those wins because I didn't I didn't manage my risk properly. I lost half of those wins in just one trade, you know, and then the rest of them in another trade. I'm talking about past shit. This isn't anything that's happened relatively recently. I feel like I've learned my lesson. Hopefully I fucking learned my lesson. But that's because of poor risk management. You know, if you don't have those stops set, or at least mental stops set, and you don't act upon them, you don't take that emotion out of the equation, you're going to get wrecked every fucking time. Every time. And to be fair, 1298, where is it? 12, let's just say it's right there. At 1298, if it went up, yeah, like I'd get wrecked. I would get totally shreked if we were to come up and like do a lower high up here or right here. Like I would have no chance. I would have gotten liquidated for sure. Yeah. There's no chance. So why even risk that? Why even risk that whenever I could just take a small loss, a very small loss at like 1305, of like a 5% loss? That's, you know, it's nothing. There's no problem with that. I don't expect that to happen. Nobody expects to lose whenever they get in a trade, but it can happen. You have to prepare for it. You have to be prepared. You're gonna be wrong. You're not gonna be right all the time. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. You'll hear me say that plenty of times. Anyways, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse over the head over and over and over again. Let's move on. So that's Ethereum. I am bearish on Ethereum. I'm holding my short. Wish I took profits yesterday, but I was driving. Can't be doing trades while I'm driving. I'm going to try to wrap this video up in the next 5 minutes, so we're going to go over Bitcoin very quickly. Very, very quickly. Same kind of idea here, you know. We're at the lower limits of this range. We haven't really gotten a significant bounce. Here, sure, we had a little tiny bounce. I mean, what was that? Let's see. From bottom to top, that was almost a 10% bounce. But compared to what we've seen in the past, and I mean, if you know Bitcoin, you know that that's not significant at all, especially in a 2-day range. You know, we're not having any of these big moves that we had before. It's been very boring. It's boring people out of the market. It's taking all these people that are short and boring them with the more ups, and you know, the downs that don't go lower. Like, really, in my opinion, what we're forming on Bitcoin, just to keep this short and concise, is, to me, it looks like a descending triangle, kind of, right? Kind of. Yeah, something like that. And maybe we can do it like that. You know, I think something like that looks more appropriate. Let's see if we can. I don't know, something up there maybe. We got a little something right there. Yeah, more or less something like that. Comes into resistance with this prior range, maybe, you know, and we're not really finding resistance off it down here, so maybe that prior range isn't really a good metric to go off of. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Tightened it up a little bit. That actually works. in my opinion. We're getting to the end of this tightening pattern. You can see that it's boring you out. Whenever the price does this, whenever the price moves sideways, you get a lot of indicators that move sideways. You get a lot of indicators, and RSI, I feel like in sideways times tends to be more relevant and more beneficial to look at than most indicators. If you have indicators like the MACD, like the MFI, like, I mean, I don't know, like anything that measures momentum or probably even volatility. Volatility might be a good one to look at, but anything that measures momentum, stochastics, um, they're not going to be very accurate. Moving averages even aren't going to be accurate because we're moving sideways. And whenever you get sideways moves, you get a lot of disrespect in the charts. And let's see if I can show you this. I'll just remove all my indicators here. I forget, it's this one, templates. We're gonna put on the ribbon, okay? The ribbon here. So we're on the daily time frame. And I mean, you can see we've been moving sideways this whole time. Look at that. We broke above it, we broke below it. We broke above it, we broke below it. We kind of came up. We're showing a little more respect on the ribbon now, which in my opinion is showing bearish respect. But we have been disrespecting it this whole range. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, I bet especially on the lower time frames, yeah, look at that disrespect. You're just below it, above it, below it, above it. You get the flip and then you come down. You get the flip down and then you come up. Like it's been very disrespectful to this ribbon while we've been moving sideways here, and that happens. That really does happen. Sure, we showed a little respect here when we had some more like trending price action, but like look at the respect we showed it whenever we were moving down here, and we like barely broke above it, but we really held above it here. I mean, moved sideways for a little bit. That's when we got the disrespect, but then we broke below it. Respect. I don't know. Momentum indicators especially fall short in times of moving sideways. You see a lot of disrespect in sideways times. Could we see more disrespect? The fact that we're showing bearish inclinations right now, could we go up and show disrespect to this? Absolutely. And that's why we have stop losses. That's why I'm talking about managing your risk properly. It does look like we're going to go down, but everybody's banking on it going down, and the market is not made to give you money. It's meant to take your money. So don't be surprised if one day we wake up and we're above $21,000. It can happen. With all that being said, I'm going to go back to ETH here. And just to end this video, let's see here. Yeah. I do think we're going to get lower prices. To me, it's just obvious. You know, we are kind of respecting this ribbon for ETH. We've been rejecting this area, staying below it, coming back up to test it, see if we can even get into it. We can't. So I would be surprised if we actually went up. Personally, I do think that we're going to go lower. We've been hanging out on this previous support area, and we have not in the last few days really closed with a significant bounce or a body up here in this relative range. I do think, I mean, even if we look back, I guess we're kind of being held down by this little bit, this little wick here, and this little, like, it just, I don't know, it doesn't look good, not in my opinion. So with all that being said, same old guys. I don't think ETH looks good. I don't think Bitcoin looks good. Oh man, I was gonna move my head all the way down here, but it looks like I'm up here. So if I missed anything, if there were some parts of the chart that my face blocked out, I'm sorry. It just happens. I meant to change that earlier, but oh well. I'm up in the top right again. I'll be on the bottom left tomorrow, or the next video that I make, whenever that is. That's all I got for you guys. I hope everyone has a good day. I'm not saying go short, but I am saying that I'm confident in my short right now. I'm pretty confident. I'm gonna change my take profit to a just slightly lower margin, and I don't know. It's a good time to accumulate. If you're into it for the long term, it's a great time to accumulate Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. You know, I do think ultimately we're going to go lower, significantly lower, but thinking is different than knowing, and nobody knows shit. So what I do know is it's a good time to accumulate. Bitcoin's below 20,000. It's below prior all-time highs from the past cycle. It's a good time. It's a good time to accumulate. You're below 50% of the current all-time highs. It's a good time to accumulate. You're not going to feel dumb in 5 years for buying Bitcoin right now. That's all I'm going to say. Or really probably most of the blue chip cryptos. That's all I got though. If you could thumbs up and comment and subscribe to this video, that'd be great. You know, C-Zar gets crypto here. I think it's just C-Zar. Let me see. Let me. What do I got here? Yeah, C-Zar gets crypto. That's me. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that is BTC Chris, BTCHRAS, at Chris Harris 85. I post more on Twitter than I do on YouTube these days. You can follow me on TikTok too if you want to. I'm pretty sure it's just Christopher Harris, Christopher J Harris. I forget. But I've got a lot of crypto videos on there, so it'll be easy to find me. Yeah. Anywho, like the video, keep subscribing and watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Like, thank you very much. These 39 views, it's small time, small potatoes, but man, like I really appreciate each and every one of you for watching these videos. Yeah, just keep checking in, please. I hope you all have a good day and take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.